Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network. Welcome to Gun Sports Radio, all about shooting, hunting, self-defense, and more. Now, here are the hosts of Gun Sports Radio, Dave Stahl and Lance Pelkey.
All right, folks. Hey, welcome back. You are listening to Gun Sports Radio right here on AM 1170, The Answer. We want to thank Gun Range San Diego for all their support. 7853 Balboa Avenue in San Diego, 10 to 10, 7 days a week. TheGunRangeSanDiego.com. Hollywood is back. He's all fired up. He's not going to let anybody undersell him. He's all mad and angry. His hair's all done, and he's grinning, and he walks with a limp. So we can't go into what the limp's all about, but I understand he's smiling.
The pipes are cleaned out.
The pipes are clean. Hey, we've got a special guest on the line. Who have you got? And you just caused my board op to go into cardiac arrest. Thank goodness for 10-second delay.
Amen.
Who you got?
Who we got? Mikey Schwartz. Who
you got?
On the line, we have, well, as we all know.
Ask if he has your keys.
We know Jim.
Yeah, really.
Jim might have the keys to your Jeep.
If anyone has the keys to my Jeep, please call in. So, as we all know, January 1st marked the beginning of this horrible ammunition gun law that is starting to take effect. So I thought it would be very pertinent to have a gentleman, Jim O'Shaughnessy, who owns Prime Ammunition. I met him through one of our members. He was actually, we all remember him from Gun Prom.
In May, he donated a ton of ammo to give away.
A ton of ammunition.
Like seriously, like every table had a big pile of Prime Ammunition on. He was really great.
Yes, and he's not only the owner of Prime Ammunition, but Jim is a huge supporter of the Second Amendment, so I wanted to have him come on and talk about what was going on and how it was having an impact on his business. Jim, are you there?
I sure am. Thanks for having me on, you guys.
Hey, not a problem at all. I mean, if this is the only thing you do, this could really put a damper in your business model, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, we sell direct, right straight to the consumer. FedEx brings it to your house, and that has been completely turned off for us in California.
What's the alternative for you?
The alternative is to work through, our business model is kind of like Southwest Airlines. We cut out as many of the middle people as we can and sell direct. That gets a really, really high-quality ammunition made for us by the Swiss-owned Ruag Amotech, probably the best ammunition manufacturer in the world. It cuts out 2 layers of distribution and brings the price down to where people can afford to buy this ammunition. And now we have to go through additional layers of distribution, and that brings the price way up high, causes us a lot of problems. We're getting a lot of customer service calls like, hey, I saw your ammo at such and such a place, and now it's like twice as much money. What's going on? And it's really a bad thing for our bottom line, for our business, and for the model that we've chosen.
Well, here, Prop 63, we all know, the Safety for All Act was garbage. We all know that. The people who actually read it. But here's the problem is you guys make a phenomenal product, had it at a phenomenal price, and California legislation has come in and cut the legs out from under you. So they not only do they hurt the consumer, they hurt the government and everybody because of the taxes and that kind of thing. But having to be able to sell face-to-face, you guys were really, just bringing a superior product at a lower price, and now your legs are cut out from under you.
You bring up a great point, and I thought, call me crazy, but I thought that, a lot of what the government's supposed to do is to promote competition, get the best thing for the consumer, and that sort of stuff. And that really does the opposite of this, and it's really designed, in my opinion. I'm no lawyer, and I'm not trying to pick a huge fight with anybody, but I'll tell you, the price has gone up. And that's not just for us; it's for everybody. When you restrict competition, when you restrict interstate commerce, and that's in the Constitution, protected constitutionally. When you start to have those types of restrictions, I feel it's an overreach of the government. That's what I personally feel. That's my opinion.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, your ammunition, too, I wanted to clarify. Your ammunition, it's not exactly plinking ammo. It's high quality. It's for people that compete, people that want to, that need ammunition for self-defense, like police officers or people that are just simply need home defense, that sort of thing. So, what crime are we stopping here? We're not. We're it's a direct impact on the pocketbook of and wallets of law-abiding citizens here, right? I mean, don't you agree? I mean, you're just kind of a niche. It's a broad niche, but it's a niche market.
It almost seems like it was by design as to have a significant harassment component. And, I try not to have conspiracy theories in my mind or that sort of stuff, but it almost seems like it's really designed to make, things more expensive, more difficult for law-abiding citizens, where I just don't think any criminal is going to, register to become, a properly registered ammunition purchaser. I don't see that happening.
Well, Jim, from what I see is, and it's terrible to say this, but you were the easiest to go after. You don't
low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, low-hanging fruit.
Manufacturers were low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, no brick and mortar. No. You're not in a specific city that you do your business in that supports it. So I wasn't surprised when I heard that they went after you guys first. Is it going to fix anything? No, it's not going to fix anything. All it's going to do is hurt your business model, and nothing's going to change. Joe?
Well, this is how it works. You get guys like this who have a really wonderful product, and you guys have a great product. I've shot it. I've used it in competition. I've shot it at the range just spanking around. I won, I think, 500 rounds at Gun Prom. It's a great product. But the problem is you got these guys like this that have a great product, but they don't have the overhead of a brick and mortar store. They don't have to pay a light bill and a phone bill and a whatever, and now they do, and their price is going to go up. And what does the consumer blames the owner of the business? He doesn't blame who is really responsible, which is the government. The government is responsible for that price increase, not the guy who's providing the product.
Right.
Well,
and the thing of it is too, he does have a phone bill. He does have a water bill.
Well, yeah,
he does have rent. I know,
but there's a difference.
But it's not like having Gun Range San Diego.
Yeah, exactly. It's a difference between having a storefront and having a store or warehouse.
Well, let's walk through it real quick, Jim. So
two bottom lines here. It's going to affect us a little bit over 10% of our total business. California is the most populous state in the country. It's got 6 million gun owners. We have a real six-figure, almost seven-figure business here that's gone. And then the second part is, to me, it's just a few more BTUs, a little more thermal energy put into that boiling frog pot. It's just one more brick in that wall.
So let's just walk through the process. So you do your shipping, I believe, out of Nevada. Is that correct?
Pick, pack, and ship out of Nevada, yes.
Okay, so if someone from one of the other 49 states goes online and orders, you just ship directly right to them. They say, hey, this is the ammo I want. They pay you electronically with a credit card, and boom. The next couple days later or whatever, however many days later, they have ammunition.
Effectively, yes. Without going into some long detail, there's a couple states that have some restrictions.
Sure.
Correct.
But now in California, what if I do live in California. If I live in California and I want prime ammunition, what do I do?
Get in a car.
You're going to have to get in a car. You're going to have to go to a Big Five, and they need to make a profit too. Big Five's been great to us. We love them, but they have to mark it up. You're going to pay more at Big Five, and then we do have some dealers around the state. Of course, we did not build a dealer network because we're direct, and your best bet is to do that, or go to an FFL who has a COE and is
like Gun Range San Diego.
So that's a certificate
which I was at the other day and was really impressed. It's a great facility. And tell them you want it, and we can ship it to them, and then they can go through the process of getting it to you.
And how long is that going to last? Because that's a loophole.
Well, it's not a loophole. It's by the law. It's not a loophole at all. I mean, it's
so you can legally do it.
That is exactly by the law. And I might be speaking out of school here because we're sitting here in the radio station, and Veronica's the owner, and she's sitting back at the in the office listening to the show
closely to what you're going to say.
Mr. O'Shaughnessy, we love small business. We love taking care of California citizens. We love protecting the Second Amendment. If you want to, we would love to be a premier prime dealer for you guys. Let's get together, let's talk, and make that happen.
Well, that's great. God bless you for that, and we will. As soon as we get off air here, I'll figure out how to get in touch with you, and we'll do that. Thank you.
All right, for everybody else, what's your website, Jim?
primeammo.com.
That's easy. All right. Well, we're going to let you go right now, and we appreciate you calling in because you got a lot of homework thanks to Joe. That's the kind of guy he is. Or if you want to stay on and listen, you're more than welcome to stay on. We're going to have John Dillon. He's on next, and he's our resident lawyer. Maybe you'll hear something, it's up to you. You're more than welcome to listen, or you can go back to work.
Or you can get on the podcast
and listen. I'm going to mute the phone so you don't hear anything going on at my place, and I'm happy to do so. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
And Jim, thank you again for supporting us at Gun Prom last year, and I hope to see you again this year.
Absolutely.
You will.
Yeah, Prime Ammo was everywhere last year at Gun Prom.
Yeah, it's cool, right?
It really was. Like every
Is that what you're calling that thing? Gun Prom?
Gun Prom.
That's what I call it.
It's not.
I get to put on a bow tie.
No, listen, go to gunprom.com.
Gunprom.com. Who knows what you're going to see? All right, John Dillon's in the house. No, he's not really. He never comes in the house. Tesla won't go that far. So we're going to talk with him in a moment right here on AM 1170 Gun Range San Diego. Thank you. Hey, welcome back. You're listening to Gun Sports Radio right here on AM 1170. I want to thank Gun Range San Diego for all their support, along with Gatsky, Dillon, and Balance, LLP. If you ever have an issue, from a legal issue that is, and you need help, and it's about guns and ammo, John Dillon is your man. CAFirearmsLaw.com. CAFirearmsLaw.com is your one stop. Also, Trident Gunsmithing. I almost forgot those guys. Can't go without Trident. If you got your gun needs to be worked on, maybe you bought a gun, an old gun, maybe you need something tricked out,
or you just want to take a hunting class.
Yeah, the hunting classes are great. They'll even teach you how to make sausage right there at Trident Gunsmithing. TridentGunsmithing.com. TridentGunsmithing.com. Mr. Dillon, how are you today?
John,
good, how are you guys?
Oh, there he is.
Well, we have to wake you up.
Yeah. No, they just took me off a hold. I've been here. How's it going, guys?
Excellent. So what's the bad news?
No new bad news that we haven't already covered, but I did get, with the new law going into place regarding ammunition, a lot of people have been calling into my office and emailing just with general questions, kind of not understanding the specifics of what's going on. So I figured I'd bring up one of the questions, talk about it, and then also talk some more specifics about the ammunition regulation. Sound good to you guys?
Yeah, baby.
Sounds great.
Come on, bring it on.
Lay it on us, baby.
Bring it on.
All right, so this is a question from Becky in San Diego. She asked the question, with the new ammunition laws in place, if she bought ammunition inside California, so, locally, and then went outside of California to do a shooting competition, and would she be prohibited? What's that?
I was say like Lance Reeder's charity competition in March.
Yeah, a lot of people drive out for that because it is, fairly close drive-wise. So she wanted to know if she took that ammunition out of the state and used it for a competition, would she be breaking the law if she came back in the state with that ammunition? So
that's a great question. Let's hear the answer.
So she buys, let's say she buys 500 rounds of ammo. She goes to Nevada, goes to Front Sight, uses 400 rounds of ammo, and then she has 100 rounds of ammo back or left over. So she wants to bring that back into California. Is that the scenario?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So this law, under the penal code, it's 30314. So anyone who's really interested on this, you can type that into Google, California Penal Code 30314. I'll detail this law, and you can read it for yourself. So basically, it prohibits California residents from bringing or transporting into the state ammunition purchased or obtained out of the state unless it's delivered first to an ammunition vendor. So under that law, there's a lot of, really specific words you got to pay attention to, but interestingly enough, it says this prohibits California residents from bringing into the state ammunition that they purchased out of the state. So under this wording, there's a great argument saying, hey, if you purchased the ammunition in California and then went outside California and brought that same ammunition back in without buying new ammunition outside the state, you'd be okay to bring it back in.
How do you prove that?
Well, I was about to say, I want to play devil's advocate
How do
here
you prove
just for a second.
You guys are jumping the gun here.
Sorry.
Jumping the gun. Come on.
You know you're talking to a lawyer.
Let him breathe.
Yeah, that's right. You get paid by the word.
Spread out,
You
guys. Let them breathe.
Jumped on it real quick because it's fairly obvious. The big major problem with this is that how do you prove that if for some odd reason you are pulled over and either your car is searched or law enforcement sees a box of ammunition or round somewhere in your car through a traffic stop or anything like that, border checkpoint, anything, how do you prove that that ammunition you have in your car and that you just crossed over state lines with was purchased in California? That's the big problem, or the other way to put it is how do they prove you purchased it out of California? Unlike actual firearms, ammunition is not traced and regulated with serial numbers. So there's nothing that can indicate exactly where and when you purchase certain ammunition, especially in other states. So there's going to be a big problem with figuring out or proving, yeah, this is ammunition that I bought in California, or this is ammunition you bought outside of California. And I'm not telling this for people to go start driving over lines and illegally importing it. You got to be really careful. Don't do bad things. Don't break the law. Mm-hmm. But for people that are truly trying to follow law and, like I said, are just going out of state with to do a competition or something like that, and they come back in, if some odd situation happens, it can get them into a bit of trouble if, you don't have your original receipt when you bought and purchased your ammunition. Well, and it's a weird thing. So, again, the ammunition regulations that the DOJ is supposed to come out with, they have not been finalized. They're not, official yet. So we have very little to go off of as this, even now that the law is effective and everyone's supposed to be following it. There's still a lot of questions and really big enforcement problems, and one of them being with this question. How do you legally, take your ammunition out of state, bring it back in, and protect yourself? You don't want to be falsely accused of importing ammunition. It's a misdemeanor violation, but, misdemeanors are not good things. You don't want those on your records. And anyone who says, oh, don't worry about it, it's just a misdemeanor, I mean, it's not good to have things on your record in general. Let's just...
We definitely don't want the state to be able to build a case. Like, well, yes, Your Honor, it's only a misdemeanor, but he's had 7 misdemeanors, which is a pattern. We need to take this guy's guns away.
Yeah, there's all sorts of things and, kind of aggravating circumstances that can really mess with charges that are brought against you. And, depending on the circumstances of why you were even pulled over in the first place, it could involve a number of other charges. So it's a very good question. From the basic wording of the law, it does seem that if you bought it in the state and you're bringing that exact ammunition back into the state, remember, you bought it in California, you left California with it, coming back with that same ammunition, that should be fine. The only problem is, how do you prove that? How do you show that this is the same exact ammunition that you had? So better safe than sorry. If you're going out of state, maybe buy all your ammunition out of state and use all your ammunition when you're at some shooting competition or whatever you're doing, or leave it with a friend outside of California if you're going visiting people, just to play it safe until we really have more concrete answers to these laws, because there's a lot of questions still.
Well, we talk on this radio show all the time. We are not political. We're not, the Second Amendment is not a political stance. It's a constitutional stance. We're not Republican. We're not Democrat, because those two things don't have anything to do with the Constitution. The Constitution is what it is. With that being said, I'm a constitutionalist. Innocent until proven guilty. We've all heard that, right? Mm-hmm. So, So is that out the window in California now?
Well, no, that's not out the window. But the problem is,
I'm
innocent until proven guilty. But that doesn't stop situations where let's say you're in some weird situation. Doesn't stop an arrest from happening. Doesn't stop charges from being brought against you. Doesn't stop you having to hire a lawyer to defend you. Doesn't stop the time, money, and other expenses to, file motions and, go to court to defend yourself. And then if they can't prove you're guilty, you're innocent. That is truly what innocent until proven guilty. you have to go through the process where the state tries to prove you guilty, and that's a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of effort. That's exhausting, especially if you're the defendant. So, you still have innocent until proven guilty, but it's a long, hard process sometimes to get to that point.
And how sad is it? It's going to cost you that much money, and at the same time, it's your own tax dollars that are working against you to prove you guilty.
Yeah.
Because they are working for the state. It's a horrible thing.
Yeah. And then real quick, I want to just talk quickly some exceptions to this law. First of all, I wanted everyone to know one of the exceptions is law enforcement. So if you're a sworn peace officer in law enforcement, you're exempt from this, and you can ship ammunition, to your house, and you're totally accepted from this law, which is interesting because the general trend, the state always exempts law enforcement, whether or not there's a real reason to do it, solely because of when they exempt law enforcement from these gun control laws, they get law enforcement support for the laws.
Sure.
And so it's a big tool they use to get these laws passed through legislation, because they can always say, we have all of California's law enforcement in support of these bills. They get that support by exempting law enforcement from these bills. So that's something just to pay attention to and realize what happens when you see these new laws being passed.
Well,
the other two...
go ahead. No, you got two more.
I was just going to say quickly, another exception would be if you have a curio and relic license. It's a collector's license for firearms, and a certificate of eligibility, which is a COE. If you have both of those kind of licenses and certificates, you can still purchase ammunition and bring it into the state to your home. Or if you get it from an out-of-state spouse, registered domestic partner, or immediate family member. So if you have an immediate family member, like a dad, a mom, a son, a daughter, a grandparent that lives out of state, they can send ammunition to you.
How hard is it for the average Joe or Jane to get a curios and relics and COE? It's not too difficult. Obviously, there's definitely some paperwork and some background checks that are involved. You have to, with a curio and relic license, there's a logbook that you have to keep and maintain for your acquisitions and sales, because technically it is a form of licensed firearms dealer, having a curio and relic license. But you're specifically dealing with older curio and relic guns. Mm-hmm. And the certificate of eligibility, you do have to go get a live scan of all your fingerprints on both hands, submit it to the DOJ. They get a background check on you, and then that has to be renewed every 2 or 3 years. So you have to get that stuff and maintain everything, follow all the rules and regulations that come with having a curio and relic license. So it's, So
for people who are involved in the industry, know the industry well, it's fairly straightforward paperwork. If you're new to this, it's difficult and confusing, so it's not like everyone can just go and get all this stuff and be totally squared away. Yeah. There's a learning curve. There's a process to it.
Plus, you have to buy insurance as well. Sure. Like if you're an FFL, you got to pay a lot of money for insurance. So.
Sure. It's crazy.
More money.
Yeah, so there's all sorts of stuff, that you're going to have to follow and look into if you want to go that route. But it is an option. If people are really against having to, drive to their local gun shop every time they want to order ammunition, especially if you shoot on a regular basis, you're buying ammunition a lot. So that may be an avenue, getting a CNR license and a COE. You should look into that, look up the regulations, and that's around that.
But basically some paperwork and a few $100 and background checks and that sort of thing, fees.
Right. Crazy.
Yeah, you can break it down to that.
All right, buddy. Hey, well, thank you very much, John. It's always a joy talking to you. Well, not really, but that's okay. It's not your job. I mean, it's just your job. It's not like you're doing it intentionally.
I like talking to you off the air because we're always talking about bow hunting.
On a daily basis.
All right, buddy. Thanks. Hey, we'll talk to you down the road, folks. That was John Dillon. Go to Gatsky, Dillon, and Balance, LLC. Go to cafirearmslaw.com, cafirearmslaw.com for all the help you can handle. All right, buddy. Talk to you next week.
Have a good one, guys.
All right, we're going to take a small break. When we come back, a whole lot more right here on Gun Sports Radio.
AM 1170, The Answer.
Folks, hey, welcome back. You're listening to Gun Sports Radio right here on AM 1170, The Answer. This segment is brought to you by Gun Range San Diego, 7853 Balboa Avenue in San Diego, 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Guess who's back, folks? Hollywood. And he
back
is
in town.
He's going 33 1/3, let me tell you.
I've been missing it, buddy. I'm not even kidding.
I could tell. So what's kicking? You're moving to Ohio?
No, but I just came back from Ohio and had a great time with all my Ohio buddies out there.
That's a song, isn't it? Coming back from Ohio, and then
or something. We'll see. Yeah, well, hell, I might write that song. No, but it was great being out there. I got to see my nieces and just have a great time over Christmas and New Year's. Did not really enjoy the negative 3-degree weather.
Probably because you weren't prepared.
That was not even a little bit, and but I'm glad to be back in Southern California. Not glad to know that we're living under the laws we're living under now, with the ammo and that kind of thing. We just talked to Mr. O'Shaughnessy about that and how it's really hurting businesses across the nation, really. But I got to tell you, what we've done at Gun Range San Diego, what Veronica has done is she said, you know what, we will not be undersold on bulk ammo.
Good.
When you're talking about buying 1,000 rounds or more, absolutely, positively, we will not be undersold. And we are selling ammo at in-store prices that you were getting at, for those of you who used to buy. I mean, we got, it is called Gun Sports Radio, so there's a lot of gun enthusiasts that listen, and for those of you who are buying it like Cheaper Than Dirt and those kind of websites in the past where you get 1,000 rounds for $199, guess what? You can walk right into Gun Range San Diego today, right now, and get 1,000 rounds of 9mm for $200.
And you need to do it because, when they're going to start that whole regulation thing or that, registration deal.
Next year in 2019 is that's when they're going to start the database.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to, it's going to come in. You're going to have a card, kind of like your farm safety card now, when your farm safety certificate, whatever you want to call it. And you come in, you buy it, and we're going to have to get online, and we're going to have to say, Bob Williams just purchased 250 rounds of 45 ECP.
Yeah, and that costs money.
Yeah, and that's going to be a surcharge for that and that kind of thing.
Right.
So, but when you're talking 1,000 rounds or more, Gun Range San Diego will not be undersold, which is why I'm so excited to get in touch with, Mr. O'Shaughnessy, because, if we can provide a wonderful product at a great price for the citizens of San Diego, we want to do it.
And what do you got now? You got 9, you got 45?
We got 9, 45, 223, 40. We got it all, but right now our biggest deals are on 9mm. We have PMC bronze, which is a phenomenal. It didn't. It's not hollow point. It's not for home protection, but it is a very consistent, solid shooting, 115 grain 9mm, and we got it for $200 for 1,000 rounds.
Beautiful.
You can't beat it. You absolutely cannot beat it unless the only way to beat it is to buy remanufactured or home loaded ammo.
Yep.
This is factory loaded, brand new. Ammo, $200 for 1,000 rounds.
Yeah, go down and get it. What about 308?
Well, we don't have any set prices for 308,
okay.
But you bring me a price for 308 that's not remanufactured. It's brand new,
good.
Factory ammo, and I will meet or beat your 1,000 round prices.
Yeah, people should do that. They should do that now.
Yeah, we're doing our 308 prices are pretty cheap anyway. 308 is a rule. Of course, is $1 a round.
Right.
When you're talking about shooting 308, you're thinking, okay, that's $1 a round. Mm-hmm. And just our 20 round boxes, our retail just for a 120 round box is only $17. So we're already 30 cents cheaper than everybody else on the market. Anyway.
They should be picking that up.
And so you want to buy 1,000, we'll break it down even less. We just will not be undersold on bulk ammo. That's all. No ifs, ands, or buts.
So I got into an ammo debate just a couple days ago and put it up on Facebook.
Who would debate you anything gun related. That's what I want.
No, everybody.
Everybody who wants to prove how not smart they are, I'm assuming.
No. So here was the debate. We were talking about 6.5 Creedmoor and how it's gotten to be.
Oh my God! Don't get me started.
Well, I'm pulling the string. I'm getting you started, and it was basically, my whole life. Like, there's been the next popular caliber, 40 cal, and then Grendel, and all these different calibers.
45 gap Glock automatic pistol.
Right. All these different. So it wasn't really a debate on if 6.5 Creedmoor was good or better than, like, say, 300 Win Mag. But is it a fad, or is it here to stay?
It's not a fad. Here's the deal. Creedmoor, for those who don't know, Creedmoor comes from the Creedmoor matches. Okay, so Creedmoor, the word Creedmoor in general carries a lot more weight than in the shooting competition world than Smith & Wesson or Winchester or anything, because it comes from the Creedmoor matches. And so so it's
not just some Wildcat round that Bob made in his garage.
And it's been around for a long, long time. Just people just don't know about it. And it is nothing that just, I'll put this right out there, and you can send me bad emails and send me hate mail or whatever you want, but nothing has a better coefficient than 50 cal BMG. So that's it. So if you want the most efficient, the best coefficient, flattest shooting, long distance round, 50 BMG, end of story. That's it. However, if you want to get something that's, smaller, blah, 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 6.5 Creedmoor is fast and flat, but there's so much powder burning behind it. Like, I can shoot a 308, I can shoot a 300 Win Mag, or the same barrel that I can shoot 20,000 rounds of 300 Win Mag out of before I start having throat erosion or anything like that. Cut that to about a third for 6.5 Creedmoor, which most people would never shoot that many rounds in their lifetime anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. But the deal is, unless you are competing at Camp Butler, unless you are down in, up in Camp Perry, Ohio, or Camp Butler in Georgia, unless you're doing these national match, inter-service, shooting with the top 100 in the world, a 6.5 is nothing more than it's a boutique round, and you can say you got it when the other guy doesn't.
Interesting. So what are we looking at? So 6.5 Creedmoor, is that a buck a round, or what are we looking at?
Oh, no. So let's say a box of, on the cheap end, like American Federal, which is and when I say cheap, I mean the least expensive, because American Federal makes wonderful ammunition. Right. But you're looking, a box of 20 is going to cost you $39.99. So about $2
about
around.
$2 around.
And that's on the low end. If you want like boat tailed, where your grain weight of powders within 1/10 of a grain. And for those who don't understand this, 1 grain, when we're talking grains, because they had to break this down because a grain is so light, so we had to break it down so we could understand it. 1 grain of gunpowder weighs 1/7,000th of a pound. So if you want your gunpowder weight within a grain in each bullet, then now you're looking at, maybe $3.50 to $4 a round.
Now, if you look into your crystal ball,
okay,
20 years from now, are people still going to be using 6.5, and is it still going to be the equivalent of $2 a round?
Now I would say it'll be.
Is it getting more popular, or is it peaked?
Well,
that's really what I'm asking.
Well, I've been in the competitive shooting realm for a long time. Not long time is a relative term. I've been in the competitive shooting realm for about 20 years.
Oh my God, that's a long time.
Not that long.
That's a long time
compared to guys who've been in it for 40 years. Right. I saw back in like 2006, 2003, 2006, the 6.5 was hugely popular, and it was a spike, just like it is now. And then some guy wins the world championship with a 300 Win Mag, and then it's going to be more popular. And then some guy's going to win it with a 6.5, and it's going to be more popular. Then the guy's going to come out. Let me tell you this. The 1903 Springfield bolt-action rifle, which we used in World War I, is a 30-06. It won't be long before some guy comes in there and says, let me show you what a 30-06 would do, and he's going to hit a mile shot with a 30-06 And then 30-06 is going to go through the roof again, and it's been around for over 115 years.
So what do you call this? Win on Sunday, sell on Monday?
Ding, ding, ding. Remember in NASCAR when the cars look like what you could buy? And that's kind of what it is.
And that's the same mentality.
It's when the magazine says this caliber is hitting, this caliber is what's winning.
Oh, we got all.
And then everybody goes for it.
But it sounds like it's not a trend. It sounds like it's a solid competition round. It's got a niche.
Oh, absolutely. The 6.5.
But it's not going to disappear.
Absolutely not. The 6.5 has a great coefficient. Let's put it in, and these numbers aren't, super specific. So for you listeners out there that are sitting in front of your Google box right now and you want to test my knowledge, I'm not giving 100% accuracy here. These are wide numbers. So let's say a 308, and you move from 500 yards to 1,000 yards with a 308. Now you might have a 33-inch drop. You're talking about 3 foot, where the bullet's going to drop 3 foot between 500 yards and 1,000 yards.
Significant.
Super significant. Where you're shooting 3 foot above somebody's head to get them in the chest plate.
Right.
A 6.5 might only drop 8 inches. So the 6.5 definitely shoots flatter. But go to your local store, go to Big Five, go to Walmart, go to Dick's, go to wherever you want to go and ask for 6.5. And they're going to say, "Oh, we can order it for you."
Yeah,
we got a ton of it at Gun Range San Diego. I'm here to tell you. But when you go to your average gun store and ask for 6.5 Creedmoor, not 6.5 Grendel, not 6mm, not Corcano, all these other different rounds because they're different. I had this random guy goes, "Dude, I bought this 6.5 Ruger and the ammo's not fitting." And I'm like, "Well, let me see your gun." Okay, this is 6.5 Creedmoor. Let me see your ammo. Dude, this is 6.5 Grendel. It's totally different. 6.5 Grendel, 6.5 Creedmoor, 6.5 Corcano, which is the 6mm, which is what killed Kennedy. That's been around for 1,000 years. It's the bullet shape is so different.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So 308 is in every store. 30-06 is in every store.
I brought it up because I knew I'd get an answer.
I knew you would.
did.
All right, hey, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Juan Barba is on the line from Trident Gunsmithing.
Love Juan.
Yep.
He is going to chat with us about how this bullet law is affecting his business at a gunsmith shop right here on Gun Sports Radio AM 1170. The Answer. Folks, hey, welcome back. You're listening to Gun Sports Radio right here on AM 1170. The Answer. This segment is brought to you by the fine folks at Trident Gunsmithing. www.tridentgunsmithing.com. I'm telling you, folks, you ever need a gunsmith, that's the place to go. Dan and Juan, trust me, these guys are so good at what they do. Man, they also do great hunting classes. So, and I was over there the other day, and they had a young kid in there, and the lady says, "Hey, this is what we do with our kids. Once they get to a certain age, we bring them down to Trident and enter them in the class. They learn how to go hunting, and these guys have got great deals on hunting rifles, and they'll even teach you how to make sausage." Juan won't. Juan just eats it. He doesn't make it. Hey, Juan, how's it going, buddy?
Good, guys. How you guys doing?
Good to hear from you, buddy.
How you doing? How's this? How's this bullet garbage affecting you?
Well, we get a lot of people coming in and asking, and let me apologize about my voice. I'm just getting over the flu here.
But you and everybody.
There's a lot of confusion. Yeah, seriously. People are just coming in and saying, "Hey, do I really have to come in here and buy it? Why can't I order over the internet?"
Right.
And it's kind of like waking up into a nightmare and going like, "What do you mean I can't buy ammunition whenever I want?" But people have been really cool. We try to educate people as much as we can. We're in contact with the DOJ, almost on a daily basis, trying to find out what is going on, so we give people the right information. As far as how it's affecting us, it's just business as usual. We give them the best price that we possibly can, and we steer them in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. And Juan, what else is selling down there? What do you guys? What are you selling?
What's hot?
What's hot?
What's hot? A lot of range ammunition as far as just practice ammo.
Okay.
45, 9mm, and 40 seem to be the going rounds right now. And, hunting season, deer season just kind of came to an end. But prior to that, we were doing a lot of 308, for hunters, 30-06.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Hey, do you still, last time I was in there, you guys had those awesome shotguns from Turkey. Do you still have it? You have any left?
Yeah, we still have a couple of them left.
Oh, my God. Talk about them just for a second, because they're
from Turkey.
Well, they're from the country of Turkey, but they're well made. They have the marine coating on them. They're beautiful shotguns, and you guys had them at a phenomenal price.
Yeah, we were selling them for just under $300.
What?
Yeah, we got a really good batch. I think we have like 3 or 4 of those guys left that are still in. They're well made, 12 gauge. For the price, the quality, you can't beat it.
Yeah, the form and function on them. If you were familiar with the Remington or a Mossberg, the form and function on them are almost exactly the same. So it's not like you have to totally learn how to manipulate a new shotgun or whatever. They're well made.
Is it good for home defense? Is it a good home defense?
Hey, when I was there, you had a ton that were 18-inch barrels, which is great for home defense.
Interesting.
Right, exactly. That's their primary function, actually. They're perfect for home defense.
Yeah, and they have that coating on them, so even if you are a guy that lives on a boat or by the ocean, they won't rust. They're pretty cool.
And you talk to so many people. Like everybody in San Diego you talk to has got a black rifle. Everybody's got an AR, and most people, or a lot of them, have 10. And
right.
I love ARs. They're fantastic. But, man, if you don't have a shotgun and you don't know how to use a shotgun, that's the most, useful firearm you can have in your collection. So I think it's, smart to stock those and get them in people's hands.
So, Juan, what else you selling down there?
Yeah, what else you got?
What else? We got just about a little bit of everything. Ammunition has been going really, really well lately. Pistols usually are great sellers, but the shotguns have actually been picking up. We've had a lot of people come in asking for shotguns for home defense. Mm-hmm. We've had a few people that are really afraid of what's going on in the state, and they want to be prepared. They want to be ready for anything that may happen. And so we're getting a lot of requests, a lot of females, women coming in wanting to learn how to use a shotgun, how to use a pistol, how to defend themselves.
That's amazing. Hey, talk a little bit about, gunsmithing in general, because, maybe a lot of people may not even know what you do from the gunsmithing point of view.
Sure. Well, we do everything from threading a barrel for your hunting rifle to put a compensator on it to a trigger job so your hunting rifle operates a little bit smoother, your shotguns, your pistols. We have people come in with revolvers who the timing's off or the wheel won't turn. You name it, we do it. We do a little bit of manufacturing with some of the springs sometimes because a lot of the older, we do a lot of the older weapons. So you've seen in there, we have a lot of vintage, World War I, World War II, Civil War era stuff in there that parts just aren't made anymore.
And when you talk about it, this is something I don't think a lot of people know. When you talk about a trigger job, guns for the most part are mass produced, so they come out of a factory and
assembly line.
Yeah. So what? Correct me if I'm wrong or give better information than I'm giving, but a lot of times they come off the line and they're high quality and they work and all that other good stuff. But they tend to have burrs or spots that are a little sticky, and that's the kind of thing. If they bring them to you, that you'll actually be able to go in and make the moving parts function better, so that it shoots smoother and in the end is more reliable. Am I kind of describing that accurately?
Yeah, that's part of what we can do. We polish it up, basically, is what we're doing. We polish up the parts, make them a little bit smoother. There's other things you can do to change the trigger pull. If you have a 5-pound pull, we can bring it down to a 2.5-pound pull, 3-pound pull on your trigger, just by changing a simple part sometimes.
Wow.
Well, I tell you, I've taken Juan and Dan to. I've taken one gun that was manufactured in 1962 something, and one that was manufactured in 1951. And I got them back, and they put them in different stocks and everything. And they're trophy guns. They look like you want to put them in glass. After I'm like, hey, you know what? Take this, make it clean, make it good. Here's a stock, a naked wood stock. When I got it, the I don't know what you call it, what you put on the wood, what shellac or whatever, stain,
snot.
Yeah, whatever it was. When I got them back, they are they are museum pieces. Well, you guys did a great job.
Have you ever watched Dan?
No, thank you.
Have you ever watched Dan? He is so meticulous when he's working on somebody's gun. It is absolutely amazing.
No, I have never watched Dan because every time I come in there and they're working, they're like, "Go away, we got to do. We don't want to talk to you anymore."
Well, that's because they listen to you on the radio, and they know you won't shut up, and they'll never get nothing done.
That's the truth.
Isn't that the truth, Juan?
Yeah, well, you know what? I gotta give it to Dan. He's the gunsmith. He's the guy that works all the magic. You know, I'm kind of the guy behind the scenes, taking care of all the paperwork. You know, I'm the Corps Fire Secretary.
And you do it well, I might add. You do it well.
Oh, thank you. I'm just the face. But Dan does a phenomenal job. You know, he's been working on guns his entire life. Right? You know, back when he was in the SEAL teams. You know, over what are we talking about here? 30 years now that he's been working on guns. And they're his passion. He loves restoring old weapons. You know, everything we have in there, he's restored. You know, as far as all the vintage stuff.
And there is some vintage stuff in there, folks. If you want to see something from the past, then there's a couple of sisters in there too that belong to Lance.
Still there, huh?
Are you ever going to get
there? Are.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I had some customers coming to Gun Range San Diego today, and they were doing a PPT, you know, transferring from one person to another in their family. And they said, you know, we used to go to the El Cajon Gun Exchange, but they went out of business. Right. And because that's where they live. Sure. Not because it's a better store. It's a matter of convenience. And I say, so then we started going to the San Diego something in Poway, and then they went out of business. So I got to tell you, folks, if you're out there listening, especially for the people who are sponsoring this show, like Trident Gunsmithing, Gun Range San Diego, you know, if there's a local gun store, go support it. Go make it happen.
Absolutely.
Especially a place like Trident Gunsmithing, who does so much. They do gunsmithing. They do gun sales. They have tons of apparel. They do tons of accessories. And they do classes, and they teach you everything from how to shoot
how to make sausages,
and then take that animal home and make a sausage out of it. So if you don't support these wonderful businesses who support your Second Amendment rights, they're going to go away. It's happened too many times. And said, Mike, before we have to go, how many in the last year?
Yeah, about half a dozen or so. Yeah,
it's crazy. Just in San Diego County.
TridentGunsmithing.com. TridentGunsmithing.com. Be there or
Love
be
your show,
square.
baby.
Love your show, bud. Hey, I'll talk to you. I may stop by and say hi tomorrow.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right, man.
Hope you're feeling better, buddy.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
Support your local stores, folks. Support your local stores. All right, this is Gun Sports Radio. I'm Dave. He's Lance. Make sure you stop by and see all of our sponsors right here on AM 1170.
The Answer.
Oh, you guys are...
Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network.